Alright, working on a little MAYTAG again today, and we're getting down to the nitty gritty. All his parts are cleaned and degreased and everything, all ready for paint. Had a lot of comments on it, a lot of comments. Everybody telling me how to clean them and stuff like that, and faster way and better way and everything, but for me, I found wire wheeling is the fastest, easiest, cleanest way for me to do it. You know, some people said sandblast, and I got a sandblaster. I got a good sandblaster. It's customized, got good lights in there. Got a good exhaust fan on the side there, plus you hook it up to a vacuum cleaner. And got good glass bead in there. And I got a compressor here that it'll make 175 pounds of air and hold 150 steady. Right now it's down to about 140. But you know, I've done that. You know, I've tried it. I've probably restored maybe 25 MAYTAGs and probably hundreds of other engines. You know, and I've never had a paint failure yet. You know, with wire wheeling. You know, there's a paint job there. It's got to be 10 years old. Everybody said sandblasting is better for it, you know, and you're getting the pores and all that of the metal. You know, that's fine if you're restoring car parts, but we're dealing with a dirty little MAYTAG here, you know. And this is for me, like I say, for me, it's just a whole lot easier. And then somebody said, why don't you get vinegar, put it in vinegar and stuff like that? Well, I already have a 5-gallon pail of gasoline here that does the same thing. So why go out and buy 5 gallons, even though the price is the same, 5 gallons of vinegar when I already have something here? You know, all that stuff works, but you know, I have what I have here, and it works for me. So that's why I do it. That's why I use that. Like I said, sandblasting is good, you know, but you know, not for what I'm doing over there. I mean, that's if I was going to do a car part, I would do that. I would sandblast it. And if I was going to put urethane paint on it and go the whole thing, but you know, it isn't worth it for that MAYTAG. I mean, it takes a 25 or a bag of media for this machine is you know, 25 bucks. You know, and you would use the whole bag. I mean, if you use a high pressure on there to do it right and get it done, you know, you're going to pulverize it. And if you drop it down to 100 pounds, it's going to take you forever. Somebody said that they could do all these parts in 20 minutes with a sandblaster. You know, them parts and these and everything, and I know that isn't true. Plus this piece here, this is 30 pounds, this one piece here. You're going to hold it in there with them big rubber gloves and try and maneuver this around and get it in there all with one hand, two hands. It just doesn't make sense. So let me show you the wire wheels. All you need is 3 wire wheels, and you can get virtually any part in any nook and cranny in this. And each one of these pieces, this one here probably only took 5 minutes. Same with this one, 5 minutes. I thought this was going to take the longest, and this actually this got done real fast. This is the one that took the longest, and that was probably only 20 minutes. But let me show you what you need. That's all. For all in pieces, all I used was this wire wheel. I guess that's a 4-inch cup, and this I'm going on 3 years on this same brush. So all you use that 4.5-inch grinder with a cup on there, and that gets the majority of it. And then for the nooks and crannies, you know, you get one of these, and that'll get that. And then for the smaller ones, you know, you got the small cup brush and this small little pointy brush. And that gets pretty much everything. I mean, and you could always, you know, I mean, there's always, you could use a smaller cup brush, even smaller than that, but I didn't have to use any of this. And even that, and bigger wire wheels. I mean, there's just so many different wire wheels. Even this, you take an old metal bottle brush, you stick it in a drill, and that'll get in just about anywhere. But that's all I use, these 4 brushes. Cleaned everything. Like I said, I thought this part was going to give me the toughest, you know, take me the longest, but it actually was one of the faster ones, because this wire wheel fit right in between here. Just one go like that, boom, you're done. You know, with this thing spinning at 20,000 RPMs. And then for little nooks and crannies, you know, you have this little thing here. This will get right into that little hole there. And even down around here, you know, which you can't get. You know, that wire wheel couldn't get into the corners, but this thing did. Got right in there, no problems. And like I say, you know, 15 minutes apart. If you do more than 15 minutes apart, there's something wrong. And this little brush here, this gets all in here and stuff. So, like I say, for me, it works best. You know, it's the fastest, cleanest, and cheapest way to go. You know, and I've never had a paint failure. So, let me show you what we're going to paint it with. All right, here's the primer I use, Rust-Oleum primer. You know, I've had good luck with it. I've never had any problems with it. And just for the top coat, it's Rust-Oleum again. You know, it's good. It resists oil and stuff like that. But if you get gasoline on it, you know, just tap it or you know, dab it and stuff, and you'll be fine. If you try wiping gasoline off, you're gonna make a mess. So it doesn't. It's not impervious to gasoline. So be careful. All right. Let's. First thing I'm gonna do is I clean this stuff up with lacquer thinner. You know, just to get what little residue and grease there is on there. And I don't even think you probably have to do that, you know. You'd probably be fine with just going at it the way it is here, but I'm going to get some lacquer thinner and we'll clean that up. Alright, now what I do is I get some lacquer thinner here and put it in a little cup and get a cheap brush, a little 50-cent brush, and get a tub here. You know, just stick it in the tub and just swish around, just wipe it down like that, and whatever residue was on there will come right off. And then you could just get your air gun and blow this off, and this is ready to paint. And then you put it somewhere where it won't get dirty, you know, like on some fresh paper towels there. But that's all there is to it. Now, just shake that off a little bit and blow that down. And that's it. That part's ready. That's ready to paint there. All right, let's do this one real fast. Like I say, you could probably paint over this and you'd probably be alright. I mean, the amount of dirt and oil in this that is left on this really isn't that much. Okay. I'd say that's clean. Stick this aside. Now if you look, it is discolored a little bit, you know, so you are getting something off of there. Like I say, to me it wouldn't be enough to worry about. And even this, when you get done using this lacquer thinner, I put this in a special can and still use it for other things. You know, not for paint cleaning and stuff like that, but for stuff that needs cleaning. Let me see. Let's blow this off. Alright, now let me clean the rest of this stuff and then we'll take it outside and paint it. Alright, before we go out and paint it, we're going to have to mask it up. So let me turn the screen so I can see you. There we go. So got my masking tape here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to mask off all the machine surfaces that get gaskets. Plus this whole bottom half is going to get masked out because this is inside the tank, so you don't want paint on that. And that's a gasket surface there, so don't want paint there. And even this thing here, this has a machine surface, so I'll have to tape that off. And this here, where the exhaust gasket goes, we'll tape that off, and that'll keep the paint out of the exhaust there and the cylinder. And even down here, we'll mask that off. I haven't honed this out yet, and I'm going to paint it first, and we'll probably explain that to you later, why I'm doing that instead of honing it out and then painting it. And then we got a spark plug hole we got to fill in. So Alright, yeah. Don't look like much, but you do have to mask a little bit. Got one machine surface right here I want to mask. And then this here, just want to mask out the inside of the fuel tank. Other than that, that's ready to go. Alright, let me mask this stuff up and we'll show it to you when we're done. Alright, we got it all taped up. But to finish things off here before we take it out and paint it, you want to take all your bolt holes and stuff. I retapped this because this was all buggered up. I retapped that to to take this. Actually, that's not messed up. My plug is here. That's why I'm using it, because I'm using it for paint. There you go. We just fill that hole in, and then here, I'd rather have a pipe. That's a pipe thread there. I'd rather have a 3/8 piece of pipe to get in there so I can really grab it. But I have a bolt here, and it's not the right thread, but it goes in there enough to grab a couple, and you're not going to damage nothing. Don't put a wrench on there, but to move it around now outside, you can actually grab that bolt and do what you want. Do what you want with it. But then this one here, this is another good. This had a bolt that goes in here and holds tension against it with a spring and stuff. But I was able to find the right thread, right bolt for this. So that'll keep the threads clean. But now I can actually bring it out there and hold this and spray it and turn it around and get all sides. And I'm going to put a piece of wire on here, baling wire, so I can actually hang it somewhere. So that makes it easier to paint. And even with this, the Hade, I got this all taped up. And a MAYTAG spark plug is actually a 1/2 inch pipe thread. So I had this piece of, I've even used it before. You can see there's black on it down here. That'll fit right in the spark plug hole. And then when you're outside, you can spray, you can get this side of it, get that side of it, get around it, and, you know, you can maneuver with it. So that's going to work out real good. Alright, got one more thing here to take a bolt. This here's your cover, and that's where the little square-headed set screw goes in. So you can actually use that. Let me get this out of the way there, and hold this piece and turn it around, do what you got to do with it, and then hang it up by the bolt, and you won't have to touch any of that paint. Just a little tip of the day. Alright, let's get all the stuff and go outside. Also, any machine surface that you don't want paint on, just stick a paper towel in there. And even if you do have to clean it up later on, it'll be less to clean up. You know, you hit that little steel wool, you'll be good to go. There's another one here. You know, the less paint you got to take off, the better. Alright. Alright, I'm set up back here in the shade. This is my little wooded area where I keep all my garbage. But this is where I'm going to paint this. This way I could pick this up and get all sides of this and everything and just set it down. I could even spray some of it while it's sitting on there. But you want to elevate stuff, you know. You don't want to... I've seen guys spray stuff and they put a piece of cardboard on the ground, or sometimes they don't even do that. They just put it on the ground and spray it, and that's a good way just to get the dirt on everything. And over here, I'm not worried about the bottom of this. I want to get paint on it, but I don't care if I scratch it up or get it wiped off and stuff like that. And I'm just going to give it a good coat and then turn it over. And then if it gets messed up or something, I can always touch it up with a brush. But I'm not really worried about that because it's the bottom and you're not going to see it. But you see where I got that elevator way off the ground? And then over here I got the other part sitting on top of my vise out here. That way you can get to everything and you're nowhere near any kind of dirt. And then this part over here, I got a place to hang it. I got a piece of wire on it and everything like that. I'm going to spray that. I'm going to hold that and spray that. And then just hang it up like that. Let it dry. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have to set you guys up at a good distance and zoom away because I don't want to get paint on this lens here. And I am going to wear this, just this little dust mask. That's just to keep all the paint pigment and stuff out of my nose and everything, because that'll give you a stuffed nose for about a day or so. So, I mean, you're going to smell fumes and everything, but that doesn't bother me. I just don't like a stuffed nose. Alright, I'm just going to start with the primer. Okay, yeah, we're going to let that set up for a couple minutes and then give it a second coat of primer. Alright, we got 2 coats of primer on everything. That's hanging there. We're letting that dry. We're going to let everything sit for 15 minutes. And then we're going to give it a first top coat. If you do it that way, you get what's called a chemical bond. And you don't have to do any sanding. But if you wait and let this stuff dry and everything, then you have to sand everything. You know, and then you get what we call a mechanical bond. You know, from the sandpaper and giving little grooves for it to bite into. But anyway, I'm going to let this sit. I'm going to let it sit for 15 minutes. And you got to walk away from this stuff, you know, because the paint don't dry while you watch it. So, alright, I'll be back in 15 minutes. Alright, we're going to give everything a first coat of green. And the bottom here, I'm going to give it a thick coat, you know, like a double coat. And then we can turn that over and prime that. Okay, we'll let that set up for 15 minutes and then give it a final coat. Alright, this is going to be the last and final coat, or the last, second and final coat I should say. I'm all doped up from the paint, get it? But, and then it'll be the first coat of green for the other one. Okay. Well, you know, if by some chance you miss a little spot on these pieces here, you could always do it later on with a artist brush. Just touch it up and you'll never see it. Alright, let me finish the rest of these pieces, then I'll give that other one a second coat and put it in the sun to bake on. Alright, I'm going to let this sit out here and bake in the sun for a couple of hours. 3 or 4 hours maybe, who knows. Until I get ready to bring it in. And the sun keeps going in behind the cloud anyway, but it'll be okay. Alright, so that's it. Our next move is, let me see that, let me look up here. You see that? The sun keeps going behind the clouds, but for the most part, it's clear. Alright, so I guess the next video we'll start putting this bitch back together. Alrighty, enough of this.